Welcome back, everyone. We've got another session of Stranded today. Before I turn it over to Keith, the only thing I'm promoting today is to actually tomorrow. Come join us for our Savage Worlds actual play. It's our game of the month, so we're going to be going through, kind of having an adventure based in the system, and as always, giving away a copy of the PDF. So make sure you come through for that. That'll be tomorrow. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So come back here and join us for that side. It should be pretty fun. I'm liking the Savage World system so far, so definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, outside of that, and outside of a long gap away, definitely happy to be back. I'm going to turn it over to Keith.
Yeah, all right. I guess we'll do a little recap of where we are and how we got here. So, since it's been a while, let's actually do a recap of the whole thing here. So the group landed on this stranded planet, crashed, unable to get the ship flying again, and they started to settle in a little bit. And as the settlers started to expand out, they formed two towns. One a little bit more into farming and sustainable kind of living for the long haul. The other into more of they set up a mine and started to try to use some of the minerals and metals they extracted to repair the ship. In time, a couple months went past. The group was doing kind of routine security for the captain and the remaining crew to try to scout out and see any dangers that might be on the planet. And fortunately, the first few months went really well. They found a really fertile, safe environment. There's no alpha predators in the area. There's actually no predators at all in the area. Until they went on a scouting mission and they ran into these worms that attack them. They were able to kind of fight them off. Um, but they went back and started to notice that the worms actually had started to attack some of the residents of specifically kind of the farming colony. And not just like little worms, there were some larger worms also into the mix that started attacking the settlers. Right around the same time, a strange signal popped up on the planet, and the planet was otherwise, there's no technology. There is primitive life on the planet, but other than that, there wasn't any signs of advanced life forms. So the group went to check it out, and they ran across a strange bunker in which they found that before kind of the calamity, before the fall of society and the setting, there certainly was. There was a corporation on the planet, and they were doing some type of experiments, and they were doing some type of research. And so, kind of further finding out, they found out that there was several types of worms on the planet. They were controlled by a queen hive. And there was this alarm that was sounding, which was the signal. And the alarm was signaling that there was an event that was impending on the planet, and it was going to cause some flooding, but more importantly, it was going to cause an eclipse. In which many of these worms who are subterranean, who live underground, who are sensitive to the light, there might be an expectation that, when that eclipse happens and it's a few days long, that those worms might come to the surface. And so that kind of set off a search for maybe another place on the planet to live. And so the captain went south to try to find maybe another location to resettle, to escape kind of the worms and in this eclipse event. But the radio went a little silent, and the captain hadn't checked in. So the group went to look for him. And in the southern regions of these dense forests, they found the captain as he was strung up in a tree by some spiders who had attacked the group. So they were able to free the captain and at least three other of his crew from the spiders and escape. And that's probably where we'll pick up today, with the captain being freed. I forgot to mention the Soggy Bottom Boys. with the Soggy Bottom Boys, who was our little group spin-off we did for a couple sessions ago, causing a distraction. And so the group will probably meet up with the Soggy Bottom Boys, if they're alive, with the captain and Sergeant Savru, who they were able to free prior, and go from there. I think the last session, the group decided that they were going to push on through the forest, as they had found a map of some type of research facility, maybe a weapons research facility that exists on the planet down in kind of the southern, maybe desert style region in the south. Um, yeah, and I think we'll pick up the adventure with the captain being freed and the group going down to explore what this weapon facility is. All right. So I guess any questions from the players then? I know that was a real quick recap. Any other details we can fill out if you guys need?
One question I had, and you may have said this: how far away are we from the eclipse again?
Yeah, I have to do the math on that. I think we said 30.
Oh, so we got a lot of time. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go 20 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so 20 days and the eclipse event will start.
That is a lot sooner than I thought.
Oh, see, it's further away than I thought. I think we had like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we got like a month plus.
Yeah. In case I go back on a stream and check, we're just going to say it's 20 days now. So,
Hey, time's funny in tabletop, man. You say it's 20,
time's
it's
funny.
20.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. So we'll start up, and the group just leveled up to level 5. So if you're not level 5, feel free to make some quick changes. Today might be a little bit of a planning session anyway. So if you didn't hit 5, it's probably okay.
Oh, thank God.
And yeah, so we're going to start off by so we assume the group had carried the captain to someplace safe, probably the edge of the forest. You guys are pretty close. You take a long rest, so we'll say it's early in the morning. I assume you would have probably unwrapped the captain from the cocoon. And kind of as the early morning light shows up, you actually see the Soggy Bottom Boys and Sergeant Savru kind of stroll up to the camp. So Sergeant Savru comes up. He's back on his feet after his ordeal. He seems to have recovered pretty well. And he greets the group. Good morning. I had seen that the mission was successful, that you've retrieved the captain.
Force is like, hell yeah, and he kind of looks behind him just to make sure that there's not a horde of spiders coming from behind him. He's like, we're good, right? We're good.
Yeah, you see, he actually does a little double take himself, and he goes, "No, as soon as we cleared the darker parts of the forest, they stopped chasing us. It got close there for a little while. I had to pull the Soggy Bottom Boys. They thought they were going to win that fight for some reason, but we made it out."
Well, congratulations on succeeding on surviving.
Survival is success this last week.
Yes. And speaking of survival, really pleased to know that. And then a kind of a grand sort of gesture, he'll, ta-da, the crew that was liberated from the spiders.
Oh yeah, he'll go over and he'll kind of lean over next to the captain and check on him, and so the captain's kind of come into consciousness a little bit. You kind of notice, especially being kind of a doctor, I assume you've been attending maybe to him for a little while.
Yeah,
the captain is not waking up like you'd expect. And as kind of the sergeant starts to peer over, he'll actually start to point out that the complexion of the captain is maybe a little off. Like the poison isn't necessarily wearing off like it should be.
Ah, well, perhaps I shouldn't have assumed he was just tired. I'll I'll see to him, and well, he'll see to him.
You didn't give him the sugar pills, did you?
No, that all of them are going to, the one with the funny accents. He's gonna like give like a very not subtle eyes at the bouncing accent of I forget the soggy bottom boy's name, but we all know who it is.
Yeah.
Are the other 3 crewmen acting the same way, or is it only the captain that's out of sorts?
You would notice that the rest of the crew are fine. Like the sergeant who had been poisoned was fine. The other 3 crew, they're kind of waking up and about, maybe a little groggy, but they seem fine. But the captain, just for some reason, he seems extremely groggy, and as actually you're looking at him, you'll start to notice that there's something going on, specifically with the captain.
Goodness. It's almost as if the spiders knew he was important. No offense. So I'd like to try to understand what's going on with our dear captain.
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
Okay. Hey, there we go. Something I might be good at. Let's see.
Does any of the,
hand over a potent aptitude to him.
Oh, wow. The help of the droid.
Yep.
All right. I mean, I don't.
Nice. Yeah, with a 23, you would immediately notice, maybe even embarrassed you didn't kind of see it to start with. The poison is affecting the cap. Like, he's the only Devronian in the group, and it seems to be affecting him a little harder. And you would think that it's not immediately life-threatening, but he needs to get into a back to tank. Sooner the better.
Okay. Well, Sergeant, unfortunately, I am not equipped to handle what is going on with our captain. It seems that his Deveronian physiology is having a extremely negative effect to the spider's poison.
And old Gus usually isn't the best with aliens. Kind of holds his arm up.
I swear, you hold that over my head, not just because you're taller than me.
Well, you got a life debt out of it, so.
Well, and you got an arm. Most of the time.
So there's like you didn't find any like hidden eggs that are going to eat their way out of the captain. Just want to make sure, because we're on an alien planet with weird spiders. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's probably not. I mean, I don't have the equipment on hand to see inside of him, but I don't see any sort of protrusions or anything like that. Or wait, he's gonna put his ear to his chest. I don't hear any spiders.
Sweet. Sweet. Okay. So do we expect this lab that we're gonna head towards to possibly have a back to tank?
Well,
or do we think we got to hike it back to the main ship?
I mean, does the Genesis have a back to tank?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah.
Because I think it doesn't. I think it's kind of beat up. I think tanks are a luxury in this day and age. So, well, please, Keith.
You would know, especially being the medic on the ship, that there is a working back to tank. There's a couple, but there's at least one working. So,
look at that, fancy us.
Did they just not let Gus use the back to tank?
Right.
So this is part of the lab he can't go into.
Why would? Is that what's in that room? I thought it was a storage closet. Goodness. Well,
go ahead.
No, please.
Well, now that we've got the soggy guys back with us, we could send them home since we freed and saved the captain put ourselves at risk in hunting him down, they can bring him home as a consolation prize.
Careful, Tavik. You might lose your other arm patting yourself on the back. Goodness. Well, Sergeant, what do you say? Can you and the Soggy Bottom boys make your way back to the ship without our help?
Yeah, at this point, he's definitely kind of focused on the captain. He says, "Absolutely, I'll get my captain home." And he says, "You boys aren't coming with us?"
We have one area on the map that we need to check out that could potentially lead to maybe a safe haven or more tech that could help, right? Because that's where we're headed to that laboratory that's down here at the bottom.
Mhm.
So
He said, "Well, we could certainly use the help. Yeah, me and the boys will get the captain home."
Good. I assume that the radios are still wonky, right?
Yeah, you would kind of notice that since you've cleared the forest, the radios, they're still not operating correctly, but they're operating a lot better now. You notice that as you kind of get out of the forest, that they would clear up a little bit.
Okay.
And their speeder got broken, right? Well, they brought with them.
Yeah, I think, yeah, they parked one kind of on the other side of the bridge, or the other side of the river that you guys forged. But yeah, the one they had brought into the forest wasn't in great shape.
So maybe we should offer ours that's sitting over there, because I don't know if they could actually hike it all the way back,
I mean,
on foot.
But then we gotta hike it back.
Did you guys bring a speeder?
Not with us, but we left ours across the river too. So I'm not sure if there's one broken across the river, but if it is, they can take ours.
Okay. Yeah,
Sergeant
would
just like that'd be good cardio.
Yeah. So the sergeant will nod to the other kind of three that are coming up and around, tell them, go find a litter to carry your captain, and he'd tell the Soggy Bottom boys to gear up and start scouting. We're moving out. And so you kind of see him just kind of barking orders and taking charge of the other 7 crew and getting ready to move out.
Well,
probably time for us to hit the road as well. With the captain sick, we don't want to be out in the woods any longer than we need to.
No, certainly not. You wonder if they have... No, they probably don't have much on them, considering they were wrapped up in cocoons when we found them, so...
Oh, yeah, do they have guns and stuff? Do they?
I'm like, I want gear. The forest was scary. Now we're going into the desert? Imagine sand spiders. Ugh.
Yeah, you'd notice the spiders didn't disarm them. They wouldn't really understand what weapons are. So they'd have the Soggy Bottom boys would certainly have all their weapons on them. You'd notice the rest of the crew, they might have lost their primary weapons, but they probably still have sidearms. They'd still be armed.
Do they have any firearms that maybe might be too much of a burden to take back with them?
As they cross through the forest with the thousands of deadly spiders, I don't think it's a burden. I think
oh, well, just a thought. Okay. All right. Well, I suppose we should bid our sergeant and captain and our crew a safe and quick journey back to the Genesis while we forge ahead to a unknown complex in the desert.
So we have the coordinates of this supposed compound, correct?
Yep. Yeah, you would have gotten them.
Okay. Do we have a guesstimate of how long it would take us to get there on foot from where we're at?
Yeah, it's probably about maybe a 2-day hike.
Okay. So, Forge is like, okay, make sure you got enough water, and make sure you wear enough clothes to cover your head. I mean, all your body exposed, you're gonna burn like a crisp, Doc. you need some coverage. You
Oh,
know.
yes. My complexion does not do well with
Yeah.
the sun. Oh,
Yeah. And you guys would know that you've actually gotten some elevation. So as you're kind of going through the forest, you would have known it was mostly uphill. And so you're now on kind of this flat, almost plateau, a little higher up. So actually, it's a little chillier than you would expect. And it's not a desert in that it's just like sand, but that it's very like rocky, very little cover, not a lot of like moisture. So the air is pretty dry. You don't really see any water sources out above you. So it's not like the Sahara Desert, but it's just kind of barren.
like Afghanistan or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay.
you kind of expect, even out in like something like California or something, right? Like,
Yep.
This makes me worried about birds.
That is a very specific concern.
Man,
Um,
that's the perfect spot for birds to. I almost said swim. I am so out of it. To fly overhead.
We would have. I think we would have got it. I would have been on the same
It's-
page.
Swimming
I would
through
have been
air.
upset. I would
Yeah.
have been upset with myself.
No, it's okay. I would have taken it as you speaking metaphorically as a swim through the air. You know?
is there any chance that me and Caspar, since I think we both have survival, to check if there's any like some kind of tracks or maybe game trail that we could see going in certain directions? You know.
Yeah, go ahead and give me survival checks. Anyone who wants to make it can.
I want to contribute my negative modifier in survival.
Go.
Ah, yes.
I think my 17 holds
Yes.
the winner so far.
I just know we have to
No?
go that
Oh.
way. So,
Edged out by
Yeah.
Tavik.
Tavik just said, "No, thank you, dog. I want to see."
Yeah, so Tavik, this would actually make sense that you would notice that this would be much more familiar ecosystem for you. You notice that it's kind of barren. There's not necessarily like a lot of life, but it's normal. Like you would probably see some tracks of maybe some larger predators. Nothing that would intimidate you or even entice you. But it's a normal ecosystem where previously it had not been, right? Like there had been no predators. So
Davik will take like a deep breath in and just let out like a this is where we should be. There's predators all around, things tracking us everywhere we move. This is a good spot for nothing too impressive what I've seen too far. But be aware there's fun around, not spiders or worms or things like that. Fun things.
Fun things. Like what?
It's alive out here. It's not like just it looks like there's prey that's been hunted, so they know how to act. Not like those one. What was those one beast that we've hunted earlier that really hadn't had any predators?
oh
Or-
yeah, the big bull things.
Yeah,
I don't
not
even
like
know.
the big bull things.
It's
I should
like
take better
watching a
notes.
kid in a candy shop.
Well, your idea of fun sounds dangerous, but well, as long as some of us are happy, I suppose. And with that, Orgus is gonna kind of like take off his like overcoat and like put it over his head and be like, just that guy, like covering up his body as much as he can. If he had sunscreen, he'd be applying it liberally. He wishes he did. And well,
Yeah. All right. Group gonna set off.
Definitely.
So you know where you're going, and with the tracking skills of Caspar and Fours, you really don't have any danger of getting off course. It's pretty flat. So is the group going to kind of just try to move at a normal pace?
yes. even before.
Don't want to like roll some
Yeah.
dice or
I don't think that last syllable left his mouth before he
It
answered.
did. It does.
All right. Yeah. So you kind of get a nice good start of the morning, set out. You kind of notice as you're going, there just isn't much else there. Good thing Fours is prepared. I
Yes.
assume the group is adequately supplied. As you kind of walk through, it's just hours of kind of just boredom. You don't see much outside of maybe a couple lizards skittering around. You might find, kind of like some smaller scorpions or something. Probably don't want to step on, but outside of that, they're not going to pose any real threat to you. Smaller snakes, etc. But it's just a pretty uneventful trip throughout the day.
So Tavik went from being like super geeked, tail thumping, to like he just kind of started to slump and then like kind of pouting towards the end.
I'm just imagining a giant lizard with like the Charlie Brown walk.
He's definitely kicking a rock now after that.
Yeah. So as you're going through the day, you kind of get to the night. It gets a little shady. Are you guys going to kind of pack up for the night and wait for the morning?
Yeah, I've got an emergency shelter that we can use.
Yep. Yeah.
Of,
So you.
of course you do.
Yeah. And matter of fact, I have
Ready.
2 shovels as well, and I'll dig a small trench around in case it rains. It'll like skirt the water around the.
I imagine we all just
prepared.
watch
You
Forrest
guys
do this. I imagine we all just...
Oh, he does. But the whole time he's giving pointers like, here's how you open it without hurting yourself, and looking at Doc because he knows he's the weakest one here, And then he's like, to avoid the, this, you aim the tent that way, and then you make the, and then wait till we get to fire. I'll show you how to do that. Okay.
Goodness.
So you're just digging this trench in just like almost just like pure rock, and it hasn't rained there in like 3 months.
Just making sure.
But you got to be prepared.
Got to.
I mean,
yeah.
it's been 3 months. It's due.
I could possibly hit water as much as I dig. Just say.
Worst case scenario, this could be used as a shallow grave.
Buzzkill.
He is wearing something's face, right? Is that? I
Yes,
remember
that is. He is wearing a skull.
Okay, well.
Did the
I
skin
thought
just
it was
dry out or
rumors.
something? You weren't able to keep a skin face. It like feel like he would have a skin face.
Yeah,
No, that's the other one.
Oh yes.
Oh, they
My-
both have something?
my
They
bad.
both have something.
What? Reclaimer has a skull. The other one has skin.
Again, I don't know why I'm surprised at your morbidity. I mean, well, look at. Never mind.
It's how I cope.
Forrest suggests that we have a watch for the night because I'm assuming the worms could probably still dig through this stuff, even though it's pretty hard.
I mean, I don't. Is Orgus is gonna like tap the strenuous effort that Fours went through to like make a trench. It's like, I think you might be a little overconfident in their abilities. I mean, you got pretty sweaty.
Oh, that's just that's just my pre-workout, my pre-trench. Wait till I get to the real trench.
Oh, we're staying here for the evening, not a fortnight. Good grief, Force.
So Force is like first watch.
I mean, considering if Tavik is lucky and the rest of us aren't, perhaps there will be predators about.
One can hope.
Yes, one can hope. Goodness.
I once had hope. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
We're all like waiting for the rest of the story. Like,
Well,
It
hope-
just stops and stares in the distance.
too funny.
well,
If you should
Yeah.
drink a bit of water, Caspar.
I'd
Well-
say. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was just going to say, I'd say we draw straws, but well, there's none about. Anybody want to first watch?
Oh, I'll dibs. I'll take it.
Okay.
Revelation will take second watch.
Are we sure about that? The last story you told us, you may have killed a bunch of people.
I did not kill them.
I
He
can watch with
did.
Revelation if you lack faith in him.
I mean, what if not you? Then what was it? The vacuum of space or something along those lines? My memory is a little bit foggy.
I believe 2 of those crew members died to the vacuum of space, but he will not confirm to me such.
Mm.
Only 1 is confirmed.
Oh, I don't know why that makes it worse. Well, it's evening, and just how many hours on this planet per evening? I forget. Keith, how many hours are per night on this?
Like a standard.
A standard. Okay, I hadn't crossed my mind, so I was just wondering if that was a thing.
Yeah.
And what about gravity? Are we dealing with standard Earth gravity, or what about the air levels? Should we be getting lightheaded more quickly?
How wickedly convenient!
Actually, there's only 22 and a half hours on this planet, so do the math.
All right.
Worf is
the
like,
sun-
no, not
But the stars and our geography might change how many hours are in a night. Because
No. You know, that is one interesting thing that if you really wanted to in a Star Wars campaign, you could be like, gravity's 1.2, so you can only jump 80% of normal, and like it's 14 hours of sunlight. Like you could really get into it.
Yeah.
And you can only carry so much, so pay close attention to your
Yep.
inventory. Don't just wave it off and say I'm carrying 1,000 things. No, you have to keep track of it. You need to know its weight, and you need to be willing to drop stuff when you run out of energy.
Yeah, that reminds me of
energy
that one
points.
Futurama episode where it's just like the gravity is much higher here. Ooh, it's raining. Tries to catch a little drop of rain.
Man.
But the raindrop is basically a bowling ball, and it just smacks him in the face.
Yep.
I actually do keep track of the weight of my stuff. I'm that guy.
Yeah, as do I. As do I. Who wouldn't? It's just responsible behavior.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, I once so one of the first D&D games I played with a buddy of mine, he had told me, he says, I'm not going to keep track of everything you have on your inventory until you tell me that you have a pouch of 100 grenades, and then we're going to start the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Fair.
But anyways, someone go ahead and roll me a d20. Just one person here.
Go for it, Doc.
Just tried, and it's
Oh.
not moving.
Oh,
Okay,
nice, 17.
Nah,
Well,
yeah,
I cast
Fortunately, we're going to use 17. All right, so you kind of notice that as the sun goes down, it starts to get a little chilly, but maybe not as cold, and you have kind of the shelter. And so the night passes fairly easily with decent climate. It could have gotten a little chillier. So everyone go ahead and give me a con check, and I'm going to give you advantage on it. It's going to be a DC 10.
Huzzah.
I need someone to roll for me.
Yeah, well.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
And-
Oh, no worries. No.
I mean, would the droids even care?
Do they feel cold?
Yeah, that's where my head's at.
Hmm.
He would complain about it.
Well, they passed. They passed.
Yep. Oh, Casper, just go ahead and just there should be a button for con on your sheet.
Left side. Do you have topish?
Like under where it says proficiency bonus and saving throws. Hey,
There you go.
yeah.
Okay, so 10 is what you needed. So you hit 10. You have a con of +0. Nice.
Oh, no.
All right, so everyone is fine. You did well throughout the night. You're still refreshed for the morning, and you'll kind of set out on your second day, and it's almost the same thing. It's you if you didn't trust in Casper and Forza's navigation skills, you would think you're just walking into the middle of nowhere and hoping that there is actually a map. But it's just kind of the monotony, right? You're just going through the day. More of the same, just barrens, nothing other than just kind of small reptiles and lizards. You don't really see much. But as you're kind of going through on that second day, you get fairly close. And as night approaches, you can start to see in the distance with kind of the setting sun. You can see this, the sun start to set, and in the distance you see lights, and it looks like some type of facility. If you wanted to go through the night, you could probably get to it in the middle of the night, but it's certainly several hours off yet. But you can tell that there is certainly something there.
Would we risk exhaustion going forward?
Yeah, it's you probably have to make a check and have disadvantage on the con check.
Okay.
Probably don't want to. At least that's just for. I don't know if we want to have exhaustion. I don't know how well it works in these rules versus D&D, but I'm assuming exhaustion is bad.
It
in
can
a
get
survival
bad.
situation. So I'm thinking we just take our time, and just continue to be cautious. That's just my vote.
As someone who's going to fail that check, I say YOLO.
Honestly, yeah,
To
let's
have it
go for it.
actually in character be, especially after seeing none of the predators around, he's definitely gonna vote. It's right there, guys. We could just get it and be back home to the captain by tomorrow.
So it's a race to the ruin.
It's gonna race it. All right.
Yeet.
I mean, as somebody that gets advantage on saving throws against exhaustion, yeah.
Famous last words.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna
look so stupid in like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, then I guess
Join
we're going.
the
'cause,
club, my friend.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So someone give me a d20, and you'll have disadvantage on it. So 2 d20s.
All right, I'll roll one. Somebody else can roll the other.
Oh yes,
rolling-
for the predator that's chasing us, it has to match our pace.
Well, disadvantage, so we got the spread on this one.
Yeah. So a 3. So unfortunately, as you start to approach, kind of in the middle of the night, a sandstorm kicks up. It starts to kind of blur your vision. You can clearly see kind of in the distance of the light, so there isn't much danger of getting lost. But it does become a little bit treacherous as you're going, especially not being able to see some of the land as you go. Everyone go ahead and give me a deck save. And this will be another D10.
So when you say you don't mean it's a D10, you mean it's a DC 10 or something, right?
DC 10, yep. I'm sorry. So that means you have
Okay.
to get a 10 or higher to pass on a
Okay.
Yep.
That screwed with me last time.
All right. And so
Oh, let me do one for Burger. Yeah.
Thank you.
He passed.
nice. So anyone who failed takes 5 damage as you're kind of tripping and you scrape your across the rocks as you go. And then we're still going to do kind of a con save. So everyone give me you won't have disadvantage on this one. So just go ahead and give me a con save to see if you can kind of push through the exhaustion of the night.
Barely there.
No.
Okay, so I did bum it. So
Ooh.
Kavik passed, but Reclaimer, unfortunately, it's a way better con. Did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So anyone who failed gets 1 level of exhaustion, and anyone who failed the first check takes 5 kinetic damage. But you do so push through the sandstorm. As you're coming up, you start to see. It looks like clearly it's a large facility, and on the outside of the facility is a fence, a powered fence. You can kind of see the shield plating in between, kind of the Duracell slabs, preventing anyone from kind of coming in. You don't see an obvious entrance, but you do see as the sandstorm is continuing to kick up, that occasionally the fence flickers out for a few seconds and then it'll come back on. And the facility is probably it's roughly about 300 feet wide or so, where the kind of where the fence is at.
So just want to make sure the fence is designed, at least from what we're seeing it, is designed to keep something out and not in, right?
Yes, it's designed to keep things out.
Okay. And we're even having a hard time seeing, because I've got those macro binoculars. I didn't know if the sandstorm is messing with that. I can try and use that to maybe see a
Yeah,
little
you
better.
could definitely. Yeah. And
Yep.
so yeah, as you start to approach, give me a perception check.
Okay. I look at him like I think the cap was still on, and then I just toss it over to either Tavik or Kaspar, who's got a better perception than I do, and be like, just use these. I brought them for something. Use them.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Yeah. So Casper removes the cap on the macro binoculars, and you kind of look through, and you see it's a pretty large building in the center. And you can kind of see through the powered fence as it dips out for a second with a 20. You'd clearly see there's a large building in the center. Surrounding the building is this powered fence. The powered fence really seems to be struggling with the sandstorm a little bit. And the structure is old, very old, probably the same time frame as the other structures in the building. But it's still obviously like there's still something powering it. And so in that regards, it's kind of remarkable the shape that it's in, and probably I let you know it's probably because of the low humidity in the area. And that certainly has contributed to it. But there is clearly something inside that is helping maintain the structure. And on that note, you'll see kind of these big floating droids that are patrolling the outside. They're kind of inside the fence, but they're floating around and patrolling, and probe droids. And also, you see along the edges of the building, you see some cameras. And the cameras, you would assume, are probably some type of alarm or alert system for whoever or whatever inside the building is monitoring them. But you see that it's clearly there is not life forms in the sense. There's no humans that you see, but you certainly see the probe droids and the cameras that are active.
Are these probe droids the kind of droids that are able to communicate?
You wouldn't notice any like signals being translated out of the building or in the building. I kind of give you that one as free since you're kind of I assume that's something you'd pick up on. But you would assume that, droids can communicate.
Is Reclaimer gonna go say hi?
Oh, I mean, do they look as good a shape as he does? Because I mean, looks like he's all reclaimer and whatever. Look like you guys are like rusted kind of pieces parts. Do they look like they're in the same condition or better? And I'm asking you because I can't see shit. I just rolled a 5. So,
Yeah. So
Um,
I guess if Casper wanted to tell you, he would tell you that they they, they look like they're maintained, but they also look like they're 500 years old.
Yeah. So, Reclaimer's gonna look to the party and see what they think.
I think I have a restraining bolt that was meant for you, but we can use it on one of them.
Please do not use that on one of them. That is
Why do you?
definitely a hostile action.
I suggest we observe because right now we only saw it for like what 20 minutes or 15 minutes we're staying here. I think we should observe the building for a longer period of time to see actually how many droids there are, what kind of rotation, if there's anybody comes in or out.
And,
You know.
and stay in the storm.
Toss a lizard in there.
You
Well-
know that Force has like 36 tents in that pack. We're fine. We can
Only
withstand-
one. It holds 6 people, so we're good there. But I did not have a ladder. I will put that on my to-do list to bring next time. But I'm just concerned that now the majority of the group has the disadvantage on ability checks, and to try and get through that fence is probably going to suck. So, so maybe we could rest, but as we're resting, we're observing, casing the building, as the young kids would say.
Fortunately, we need to do a long rest for that to get rid of the disadvantage.
Can Orgus try to determine why the power is fluctuating?
I hand Orgus the binoculars so he can take a look himself. I consider them available to anyone who wants to look through them, just handing them back and forth, looking at this. And after Caspar takes a look at this, he would hand it even back to Force and be like, "You just have to take the cap off. It's right there,
Yeah,
right
I
there."
think he saw. Yeah, he saw you do that and was thoroughly embarrassed.
Oh, and actually, because I already had forgotten, we'll give you that one as a freebie. But at 1 level of exhaustion means you do have disadvantage on ability checks. So
I
moving
mean, I
forward,
rolled with 2 die. You just decided to give me the 20 instead of the 6, and I didn't correct you.
this is fair. This is fair. Imagine what you would have saw in a 20. Just saying. A 6, you at least took the cap off.
See.
Yeah, but no,
Smats.
you can certainly kind of take a look and see if you can figure out what's going on with the fence.
Would that be a technology check, perhaps? Maybe?
I'd give you that. You could use technology.
Aha.
Nice.
Yay.
So you would see that it's actually like a power fluctuation. Not in that the sand is messing with the fence itself, but whatever's supplying the power is
Okay.
probably being disrupted temporarily by the sandstorm.
Well, Forrest, while I do understand your desire to wait till everyone is recovered from their ordeal in the sand, I do believe that our window of opportunity of getting across this field might be limited. You see, the sand appears to be affecting it.
Okay, I'll go with your judgment.
Really? I mean, of course.
Just yours, because you know how to work the binoculars. So,
Well, I mean, to be fair, Casper gave me a few pointers, but well,
he'll get a big head. Don't tell him.
well,
My ears are ringing. Do either of you know what this is about? I just get this little.
That's
Maybe I got
part of
tinnitus.
exhaustion effects. Yeah, it's part of the.
the sand is having a negative effect. It's the air pressure or something. I don't know. I'm just making this up.
Okay, so I could
Tinnitus.
throw maybe one of you over, but the landing might be bad. I do have shovels. Maybe we could dig underneath it. I got 2 of them.
How big is this facility? Like, how many people? Like, because I was like, what, you said 300 feet wide or something like that?
Yeah, it's about 300 feet wide, and you don't necessarily know how deep it is from this point, but it's a large building.
Reclaimer's gonna offer to talk to the droids again. See if we can get in there without having to sneak in.
Yeah. So you're just gonna approach.
Bring it up to the party first. Just like they seem reasonable. A
Well, do
little old.
the droids look like they're armored, or I mean, I'm assuming they're guarding. That means they probably have some kind of weapon. I'm just wondering if you noticed that because you're, one of them, or a type of them.
I am a class 2 droid. These are probes.
So,
leads. Do droids usually like you? Do they respond to you better than people?
I run the reclamation project. I help restore droids across, well, I'd say the galaxy, but we all know I don't get out that far. So, yes, I'd say they most likely would like me once they understand what my job is.
I mean, to be fair, he has a friend in. Goodness, I can never get the two of you straight. The other one, the quiet one.
Revelation?
Yes, that's the other one I meant. Yes.
He has defended you, killed for you. He's the one who wears skin. How do you forget him?
Well, your names are very similar, and to be fair, he has never said my name. So, revelation. See, I have said his name correctly more than he has said mine correctly.
Just off screen, we hear in deep baritone. Doctor.
You see, that's not even my name. It's a title, which I'm very proud of, but still not my name.
It's what you're registered as.
Oh, good grief. Well, regardless.
Well, if you think you can sweet talk them, go ahead. Haven't had to droid before, but
All right. In that case, he is gonna go up to the fence. He's gonna, in binary, holler out to one of the probe.
So you're saying you're giving them your digits?
Oh, highly
Okay,
inappropriate.
that was slick. That was creative.
Okay. Yeah.
And that right there was a beautiful dad joke.
I'm a dad, so that kind of fits. Does it?
So as you send your digits out, so you'll see like a probe droid kind of passing by, and kind of it clearly looks like he's like scanning and looking, and so he'll stop, he'll like look at you, and then just kind of go silent for a little bit, and then
Do
finally
not let my disheveled form frighten you, or the skull.
but yeah, he'll just kind of respond with the you have been denied entry into the compound. Please exit the facility, or you will be terminated. Goodbye,
I can do
droid.
repairs.
And then you'll see kind of so the droid pauses again. And you can clearly see like that he's waiting for further instructions. And then he'll just get the same response of, you must be malfunctioning droid. You are denied access to the compound. Please return to your station.
I was not stationed originally on this planet. I can do repairs. I can refurbish droids. I can fix your generator.
Go ahead and give me. We'll go deception. Go ahead and give me a deception.
Deception?
I mean,
Oh, were you
I'm
telling
not-
the truth?
Yeah.
Can you actually repair it, or?
Can he actually? Well, probably not, but he believes he can.
I,
So self-deception, all that was self-deception.
Gotta love that
So-
mechanical hubris, baby. Ooh.
if possible, I'd like to try and take a stealthy / sniper position, so that if things go bad, I can, destroy the droid.
Okay.
Hey, wait,
I'm just
wait, which
taking the
droid?
position.
Which
I'm
droid?
not doing anything.
Mhm.
I haven't stated. I'm leaving it open to interpretation which droid I'm gonna blow up. I mean, assist. I mean, end.
All right. So the droid actually kind of so it pauses again, and it finally responds of, finally a repair droid has been sent. The generator has been malfunctioning. Please wait while I summon an escort. And just kind of pause, and eventually you'll see two battle droids like approach out of the building, and they'll come up. The fence will go down, and the battle droids will motion you forward, and they'll just say, "We will take you to the generator. You will repair and then return to your station. Your assistance is appreciated."
I have a team. They are required for this service.
Yeah, so they'll go, yes, you have a droid repair team. Please have them come forward and identify themselves.
So all this, I imagine, all this was in binary, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's my
So like,
binary voice.
so like the droid, like the two battle droids, probably flanking Reclave, or him turning his head around with the skull, just like bring up one of his limbs for a little thumbs up, like we got it. It worked.
Okay, so I'm gonna move forward.
That is
yeah,
Boris. He's quite handy.
as soon as they see you are not a droid, you see their reaction change, and they'll tell, did you identify yourself? Did you tell them your name? Reclaimer.
I wasn't told to do anything like that, so, so I just walk forward.
Yeah, so as soon as Force starts coming forward, they will say, repair droid, take cover, intruders.
Attack.
No,
And they will
that
take,
is part of my team. That is part of my team. That is Force. He is quite handy. He has 4 arms. He always comes prepared. He has most of my supplies. Please do not shoot him.
you'll see them at this point, they'll just say, the uh, the humans are not to, or the humanoids are not to be trusted. We are unable to allow him entry. You must exit the facility.
Oh, you're one of those.
So we probably just
now,
hear beeps and like battle droids. And
Yeah,
Yes, you have no.
shooting
You
us.
just hear.
Yeah.
No,
do
that
the-
last one was straight up like in basic, just like, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
so
So-
do the droids look like they change their stance or anything, or no?
Yeah.
during
You see,
this
all you
conversation?
hear is beep, 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 and then they pop up their arms and their blasters pop out.
So Tavically,
I
it's
don't.
on the dock. It goes, no better with droids.
So I don't hear nothing from behind me, but obviously that's a threat. So I'll give it a second, and if there's nothing, I'm going forward, and I'm just gonna beat the shit out of this thing.
If I saw a blaster get drawn, I would immediately shoot. You don't pull a weapon unless you plan to use it. So,
Yeah. And so as you're going forward, you'll start to see, well, at least Reclaimer will see that the doors open. It's like a big hangar door, and inside are a lot of droids.
Ooh.
And they start to come out. couple of them, most of them are battle droids, but there's also some more probes, and they'll just start. You just hear beeping, but Reclaimer would know. Defensive positions, we are under assault. Activate the reserves.
I just want to put this out there. We've been in need of spare parts, and there's a ton right there. So let's.
No, the only one that can we actually see the facility is opening, or the only one that can is Reclaimer and the other one? I just want to make sure because I'm kind of.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, but I'm at disadvantage, so.
Reclaimer's
Didn't
gonna
I
be
see
calling
Jay?
out.
Yeah.
Do
I
not
think the
shoot,
lens
do not
cap is-
shoot, do not shoot, and back to them, do not shoot. They are my servants. I have tamed them. That's
So
why they are part of
I am-
my team. He collects, as you see, he is holding all of my equipment. Do you think I would want to hold that?
Can
I
I
am not a
hear
class 5.
Reclaimer? Because I would readjust the target of my sight after hearing that tamed comment.
DeForest can't understand any of this crap, so he's just getting ready for a signal, and he can't see
He,
shit.
he
So
did say, like, do not shoot the Fords. Even though I imagine Fords doesn't have gun, he's got the drone stuff. Just like
yeah,
hostilities down.
yeah.
I just have my hands out, like not defensive, but I'm kind of looking back. I'm like, that's what I'm doing because he's the only one that can say anything.
Yeah,
Shit.
so you just kind of see just a line of battle droids. There's probably maybe about 15 lined up at this point. 3 probe droids have come out, and they're just taking these defensive positions and just gearing up, about ready to just light 4s up.
Can I roll deception to attempt to deceive them into thinking that the crew is under the direct command of a droid?
If you convince him that 4s is a robot, then they might not kill him.
Oh wait, actually, yes, I can. If he sees that, he'll ask for Revelation to step up. The man wearing a bunch of skin, and he'll say, "As you can see, though my dear friend here, Revelation, is not fully kitted out. All of these are not true humanoids. The facade is broken. They are merely wearing the skin and some of the meat of humanoids to better blend in when we do infiltration."
Go ahead and give me a deception check.
Oh hell no!
Let's see how this goes.
You've got a -1 to deception.
Yep.
You got an 18 last time. Oh, you
Oh
had
my
enough.
god!
You're
Jeez.
exhausted, so it'll be the 16.
Yeah.
But that's decent for being exhausted. But I don't know if it's enough to make somebody believe that.
Yeah, it's a pretty tall order, but
Yep.
what a 16 do it? Oh, grand old DM.
Yeah. So they do not instantly start firing at 4s, but you see them kind of hesitate for a sec, and they all pause at the same time, as if they're waiting for commands. And then they all react by now turning their weapons inward and just saying, "You will all be detained, and further inspections will be made to clarify the situation."
All right, let me relay this to my team. And he'll turn around, and if he drives a little bit forward, does it feel like they'll turn hostile if he starts moving away from them?
If one more time.
If Reclaimer moves away from these droids, does it feel like the droids will turn hostile?
No. At this point, they're not that. You're not under that much suspicion. So if you were to start walking away, they wouldn't like start shooting you.
So he'll drive away just a bit, just enough to be out of your shot, and he'll whisper into the wind, "Run."
Just about what we expected from the droid's diplomacy. I'll go talk to them. We need to leave.
I was a fool.
Yeah. So, are you going to whisper this in binary, or is this back to basic?
That was back to basic.
You would see as soon as you start talking basic, they would immediately like alert, and the gig is probably up at that point.
So Thor's is backing out if he's talking and two guys in front of me are doing that shit, because I just saw 15 or more, and I know we can't take those on. So I'm gonna back up as soon as they start looking like they're gonna attack again.
Okay, run!
So
I'm backing out.
they would not pursue you once you clear like the fence line and the immediate area. They would not. So you kind of see the droids, especially the probe droids. They kind of move right up to the fence line and kind of watch and observe as you move away. But they don't pursue you, and they don't shoot you.
So, lesson learned here. The moral of the story is: rest a day and observe.
What's the I imagine the party saw that whole Looney Tunes-esque scenario and how it escalated. What's everyone else's reaction to that?
You're not gonna talk to people anymore. Or
Agreed.
robots.
I mean, all things considered, it went rather well.
Yeah, we didn't get damaged. I guess that's good. No one died, got damaged,
Yes.
got eaten by a spider.
At least all types of creatures like you the same.
Very good.
Doctor, I require medicine from that bird.
I am afraid I have no salve that will help you.
So we still might be able to salvage this. And I hate to say it, Forrest, is just even the thought just is gonna like blow his brain up. But he still might be able to get in and do the repair stuff on his own. He could scout the place. He could attempt to fix it, probably jack it up, but he doesn't have the skills for it. But if he just gets in, scouts the area the best he can, and says, "Okay, I can't fix it. Oops," and then they let him go. That's an idea.
They'll let him in after the display before, and then let him go if he can't fix it.
I take off the skull, they won't be able to recognize me. Brand new droid.
Yeah, you're probably right.
However, I'm not
you're
doing
probably
that.
right.
There are so many battle droids. Did you see them? I have self-preservation.
Well,
Do you guys want to
Also, there's
observe
only
now?
a 23% chance I can fix the generator.
okay.
I am more likely to blow it up. I did not tell them that.
Well,
Do you guys still want to observe or just head off?
head off?
Well, no, we're not leaving it at.
No.
No, we're taking the facility.
Yes.
We should take it with the fence intact. That's one of the few defensive structures on the planet. I think now may be good for a quieter approach. Sneak in over
Let
the
us
fence.
dig under. Oh, over, yes.
It is a rather tall fence. Is under an option?
How tall is the fence again?
It's about 15 feet.
15 feet. Are there any? How close is like a nearest building to one of the fence?
Hold on, let me look.
I think I could force jump over it, but that's just me having a way over, not everyone.
Yeah, Tavik could maybe jump it, but the grappling hook would be the easiest way up with a gun shooting it in.
Yeah. So the fence is about
Also-
50 feet from the building.
How many feet?
About 50 feet from the building.
Oh, 50.
Yeah.
Is the generator like something we could see? Because I could always shoot it.
We'd
I
want
do
to keep
have
the
a
fence
seat.
intact.
Well, I have a siege weapon, so I might be able to bring that thing down.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess it would depend. How far did you make it within the fence line? I'll let you decide, Reclaimer. Did you make it within the fence line? They did drop the fence so you could come in.
I don't think he would have. Unfortunately, I don't think he would have strolled in without someone backing him up.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really kind of get an idea of where the generator was. You could probably find it. You would assume from your tech roll earlier, you would assume that the whatever's powering the fence is probably outside. That's why it's being affected by the sandstorm. But you don't necessarily see it from where you're at, but you could assume that it's somewhere in the open, probably in the inside of the fence.
is there
Do I
any?
have the smuggle power?
Well, is there anything like a large like rock outcropping nearby that we perhaps could use to get elevation, and combining that with macro binoculars, get a look of the surrounding area?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the way you kind of came, you were kind of coming downhill a little bit. So it is, you could easily kind of get up and get some elevation. And at this point, I will say that it's kind of early morning, and the sandstorm is letting up a little bit, so you'd actually get a better visibility.
Okay. Well, I mean, perhaps we could just disable the power and maybe fix it once we've made our way inside. The idea of a fence between me and the elements is a very appealing idea.
And outside of Reclaimer and I keep forgetting the other one. I don't know why.
Revelation.
Revelation. Do you guys actually know if these were good guy droids or bad guy droids? You know,
Oh, I can answer that. They detest humanoids and flesh creatures.
is that a programming issue or is that
I believe that is likely a choice made for them.
Or
Would
perhaps
Reclaimer mention that like they paused a couple of times and it seemed like they were waiting for orders?
He will now.
And so Reclaimer would probably understand that they were getting directions from something.
Yeah.
so either some kind of humanoid in there or an artificial intelligence of some sort that has survived how many hundreds of years, right? You know. Okay, so at this point, I say we scout the area the best we can, do Doc's idea, as well as we may want to set up camp and get rid of this exhaustion level.
So with the pulses, because you said it kind of pulses on and off with the fence, how long are those pulses? Like, is it like so that like flickers, or is it like off for seconds, or?
Yeah, with the you notice like when the sandstorm was going on, there was times where it would go off for maybe a few seconds, certainly long enough to get through the fence. Now that the sandstorm is gone, it flickers, but you would have to really time it well to make it through.
And now that the sandstorm has let up a little bit, do they still have the same three droids out and about, or have they increased? Considering that there's a presence out there.
Yeah, with kind of your elevation, I'm not going to make a perception check on this one. You'll see that the on the front there is like a big cargo bay door. It's closed. You don't see any of the battle droids around anymore, but you do see the probe. You'll actually see a couple of the probes, and they kind of are just floating around in like a pattern, like a patrol pattern, around the outside of the perimeter.
From our elevated point, can we get a general idea of the map of the area? Like, is there a gate in the fence? Or maybe a man door and a huge gate where maybe a vehicle at one point was able to drive through, and then how many buildings and so on. Just trying to gauge some kind of plan,
Yeah, you can kind of tell how the way you approach is like a gate. It's not like that it opens and closes, but they have the ability to turn off the power to drop that section of the fence to allow things in.
Oh, with that, do we see like a control panel anywhere around there?
From where you're at, well, actually, I'd give it to Reclaimer. We'd give it to Reclaimer if he said that there would be kind of a control panel on the, like next to the outside.
Which one of us is able to scale the fence and turn off the power? Oh,
Is it still kind of fluctuating, or with the sandstorm gone, is it back to a steady?
It's pretty consistent, and so there are kind of between the sections of fence. There's these like Durasteel pillars that power it. So there is kind of a small section that isn't like a force field. It's just that Durasteel section. It's kind of skinny, but with a little luck and some dexterity, you could probably use that to either run up or scale up without hitting the fence itself.
Tavic's got wall run, so he could use the force wall run up it using his monk speed and get over. My only worry is if it's like I need to be hacked or sliced, because he's very stupid, so he can't slice anything.
I mean, he can slice things, but just
he can slice them, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you yell slice, he'll just slice. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the. So what skill would we need to use to shut it off if we didn't have access to a true access to the control panel?
Yeah, you'd kind of know from the outside if you were going to try to like hack the control panel for the outside. You would assume that it would probably be a slicer's check. If you were on the inside, you would assume that you could just probably deactivate it, or if you were to blow up the generator, it would shut off. And if the group kind of wants to take some time to really kind of scout out the building, and it even might take a little bit of walking to find maybe a different angle on the building. But you could certainly take the time to kind of do a thorough scouting, and I give you another shot at a perception check. Or if there's another skill that you think you could make a case for, I'd let you make that case.
So Force is all for getting a better scouting of the area, getting a better layout.
Yep, definitely scout it out.
we are running a bit on our time, 20 days, which may have started to tick down a bit. So, do we want to spend the time?
I'd definitely be down for spending like the time to scout, but definitely not a long rest.
Got it.
What's everybody else
Sounds
think?
like we're scouting.
I'd say we scout.
Yeah. So either give me a perception check, or if there's another way that you think you could do it, then go ahead and make that case. But you can take a perception check for free.
Sweet. And
So we need someone we need someone with a good perception.
Davis can give it a shot and use his new guidance power and see if that will help.
All right. Nice. So did Tavik, is he kind of up on the outcrop where you started, or did he kind of get a different angle on the building?
I probably started in the outcrop. We kind of did like the walk around to see if he could survey.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyone else wants to go ahead and make a roll, go for it. But a 26 is going to give you a good amount of info. So.
I don't think I could beat it if I really wanted to. You keep that 26. Tavik sees all.
All right. So yeah, Tavik, maybe that you've broken into a few places. Maybe you have some experience scouting out some targets. But you kind of notice four things, and some of this you've kind of already seen. The most outer defense is going to be the fence itself, the powered fence, in that it does kind of flicker a little bit. You could easily run up it and scale it with kind of your force powers. The rest of the group might struggle a little bit to do that. You could also try to time it and go through the fence. But that timing is probably going to be tricky and maybe a little dangerous. The other option is you do see the control panel. You see that it would probably clearly be able to be turned off. That's not an issue. You also spot where the generator is. It's kind of in the north, kind of just north of the building. You see the standalone generator. It's in pretty rough shape. You can kind of see that that's what's causing kind of the power fluctuations. In addition, you see the patrols, and you do see that there are 4 droids, and they do switch off. So occasionally you'll see one go in the building and another one come out through this big, large kind of door in front. But you do notice there are certainly some windows in that patrol in which you could kind of slip through unnoticed. Be a little tricky, but you certainly could do it. The next thing you'll notice is that the cameras, while it looks like it's a pretty good alert system, some of the cameras are in bad shape. And there are some clear blind spots. And then the last one is you find a second door on the back side of the building that looks like it's an entrance. You would assume a person would go through at some point. It's just a normal sized door. But it is locked. There's a control panel kind of on the side, but it could probably either be sliced or the door doesn't look that heavily reinforced. It could probably be either blown up or maybe even potentially kicked in. But you do notice that there's kind of those 4 levels of defense. The 2 doors, the hangar door, and then the back door, the cameras, the patrols, and the fence.
So do you all want to try to sneak over, or do we want to send like a small crew over and see if they could disable the panel and sneak the rest in?
So Forrest is having bad luck with rolls today, but that's also because of the exhaustion. So he knows he is not stealthful. So he's not going to be the guy that does the stealth part.
I can stealth in. I just am not sure what I can do once I get in there. I am a very bad scout when it comes to tech.
All right, who wants to carry reclaimer?
Well,
Not very strong, but sure, why not?
As one of my discoveries, I picked lifelong learning, and that gives you a skill and a tool. But I have yet to determine which skill and tool Orgus should be proficient in. So perhaps he's dedicating his life to other pursuits and maybe wants to learn how to get into that damn Bacta tank that they keep locking him out of.
Yeah.
Well, Tavik could definitely carry one of the 2 of you guys over if necessary.
I can carry you over. I won't be stealthy doing it. So.
Because with half speed, with carrying somebody, he can still move 20 feet, which is more than the fence. So you should be able to climb that.
Well,
But you said that this is like middle of the day, though, right? Or morning? I think
Yeah, by this time it would probably be like afternoon. Okay, probably a couple hours. So like still like early afternoon.
So do we want to wait until dusk when there's more advantage, or go try to sneak in the middle of the day?
I feel like we've put enough time into this. I feel like it's time to execute the plan. As such, potent aptitude to whoever's planning on hacking in. So probably the doctor. Potent aptitude to good.
Fours, any chance you've got in that big wondrous backpack of yours a slicer's kit?
Nope.
Hmm.
Do the droids have one?
Good question. If Reclaimer's proficient in the slices kit, I think that's the. No, I think he has a mechanics kit integrated into him, not splicers. So
Yeah, he does not
no.
have slicers.
Can you
So-
actually slice without the kit, and that's at a disadvantage? I don't know that rule yet, or if that is even a rule. Does he need the kit to slice, or can he do the skill without the kit, but at either a higher DC or disadvantage?
I think that's a feat to allow you to do it with the kit at disadvantage.
Okay.
So the one other thing I'll give the group, and this will be a freebie, is that the robots didn't change their pattern after knowing you were there, almost as if they forgot you were all there. And so they're just back to how it was before Reclaimer approached. It was almost like there was a little bit of a reset.
And that's what kind of one of them is off, and the other three are kind of on patrolling. Or how's that patrol work again?
Yep. Yeah. So they're just all patrolling. There's either 3 or 4 of them around the facility at any time, and they're just kind of patrolling.
How long is like their patrol?
Like in between as they pass.
Yeah. So they're moving kind of slowly. So they're about 20 feet or so. So it takes them. Let's see. So it takes one side of the fence would take them 20 rounds, which would be, 2 minutes?
Okay.
So that should be enough time for us to get over the fence, at least. I would hope. And maybe if
It's
we
also real
Go ahead.
fast. If they've forgotten us already, we could basically do the same thing again. Have Reclaimer go to them so I can repair the generator. Have them go over there and turn it off so you guys can sneak in without the fence being electrified.
The droids may have forgotten, but if they're taking orders from somebody, I'd be surprised if they forgot.
That's fair.
yeah.
Huh? Tavik's willing to go over the fence. Or you just want to try it without being able to slice it?
I mean, we're already here.
I mean, you could do some science stuff with it. Who knows? You really do
Perhaps it's just a
Well,
button.
Perhaps it could just be an easy button.
Yeah.
So maybe in that 2-minute window that we have, is there a chance that Fours could attempt at least at one part of the fence, maybe by those 2 posts that you mentioned, is see if he could dig just to see how far the fence goes by using a shovel to try and dig the sand away? Because if we can get deep enough, we could technically crawl under the fence. So
You could certainly try. I will say that the one thing to keep in mind is the droids do see and hear things. So if you make
be a
too
good
much
distraction,
noise,
Now, Forrest, did you bring the quiet shovel?
well, I just have the one for the left side and the right side because I use 2 hands. So I don't think neither are quiet, but name them how you want. I don't think it's going to change their function.
Fair.
But, and you said there were like 2 posts where the fences, there's a potential where you can climb the fence between those 2 posts, if I heard you right.
Yeah, sorry. So they're like these
Okay.
big metal posts, and on the side of the post, you can see kind of the energy beams that come out. But in the center, it's just Durasteel, and it would be big enough for like a foot or hand placement. But you'd have to be extremely nimble not to hit the force field itself.
Tavik's gonna give it a go. Gus, you on board?
Figuratively and literally.
How is Gus's stealth?
What do you mean?
Is he stealthy?
Oh, he is now.
Sweet. All right.
So So he took that as a slicer. Okay.
So Tavis uses guidance on himself then, and then cast wall run and with probably Gus either on his back, arms,
Piggyback
however it
ride.
works.
Piggyback ride. You know it. Come
Perfect.
on.
And trying to give it a go.
Before you do that, are you going up kind of the front side of the fence where the gate is and the hangar door, or are you kind of going up on the sides or the back end where there's the door? Or
He tried to go probably as close to like the door side or where that panel is as he can, but basically trying to find like a dead spot in the droid's routine so they have a few seconds to be able to get down there and open it and hopefully hide.
okay, so you're just trying to open the like the fence gate.
Turn off the fence so the rest of the crew
Okay.
can get in.
Yeah. All right. So you have wall climb, so you just go up the wall, no issue. I'm not going to make you a roll for that, but do give me a stealth check. And so are you going to be carrying Gus then?
Yep. Or carry him until we get over the wall. Yeah.
Okay.
Before you do that, I would like to ask. I have an idea about generating a distraction while you stealth. And I wanted to ask if you want me to try and do that, or if you want to go in without that. I'm only. I don't know. I would expect it would lower the DC for your stealth, but I also don't know. Like, if they see something odd going on, will they, raise their awareness on all areas or just focus on me?
So mechanically, the way this would work is if you could make a good case for what would distract them. Right now, because Tavic's going to be carrying Gus, he's going to have a stealth check at disadvantage. But you could use the aid, so you would give him advantage, or it would wipe out the disadvantage in this case if it worked.
Okie dokie. I would like to try and create a distraction.
Okay.
And what I'm thinking about doing, I'm going look. I'll look over at Revelation and Reclaimer and go, R&R, come with me. We're going to go make a distraction, and we'll go up to the fence and go, jolly good. Hello, I've brought myself a translator. If you don't understand, could I speak to your manager, please? Your leader. Perhaps
this
someone
will be
in that
good.
building there.
This is going to be excellent. And he'll translate that.
And I'm very clearly just waving out, being like, hello, your attention, please.
So you did get his attention. One of the probe droids would immediately notice you, and he would in binary, so you wouldn't understand this, but Revelation would know. In binary, would start beeping out, intruders, humanoid detected. Please activate.
No, he is a droid. He is a droid.
I would argue that whoever is inside this building could likely use some TLC. It's quite clearly been a long time dealing with only droids. So whoever's in there, I just like to say hi, and I would gesture to my side and go, I have a large barrel here of brew to ease your solitude. Perhaps you would enjoy that. Perhaps you would appreciate that. Also, and I would also pull out something else. My chef's kit. I don't know what seasonings you have in that dank dank location of yours, but a good spice can always upgrade the value of an MRE. So just let me come in. We'll do a little talking, a little interacting. We can really help liven up the solitude of which you are experiencing in there, my good friend.
So Reclaimer's translating all that. Does that change how you react?
So as you translate, he's a droid. Was that what you're going to tell him? Is respond of no, he's a droid?
Nah, he drops it at the moment he brings out the barrel around.
Yeah.
Just translate everything else he said.
So you definitely are distracting the probe droids. They are hostile. They're not wanting to try the ale.
No, not
Tavik,
the droids, but I'm hoping that they have to relay this like somewhere out there. There's someone looking at a screen going, "What the heck?" and like going, "It's a barrel. That's a bear. Does that say beer on it?"
If there's
It's been a
someone
long time.
alive
You
in
know what?
there,
I've been
I
drinking the
imagine.
same shit for a long time. I could go for something new.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what I'm trying to appeal to. Sorry. I'm trying to appeal to that.
If there's
So
someone in there,
It's a long shot, but I thought I'd try it.
I'm imagining the master from Fallout kind of situation if he was organic.
Or it has to be like a Wookiee or I don't know. I don't know what the lifespan is, but it's been a few hundred years,
Hmm?
right?
Wookiee. That'd be a trip.
yeah, and so
But there,
you see him pause, and then again he kind of he's got like a little like prod blaster in front. He'll like target you with it and just say, humanoids are not allowed on the premises. Please leave or you will be terminated. In Tavik, you'll see the front hangar bay open, and inside you'll see those battle droids start to come out. And unfortunately, the hangar is like
Oof.
next to the opening of the gate, right? Like, so the gate would open and theoretically a vehicle could go into the hangar. But they are distracted, so the probe droids themselves will not notice you.
Okay. Do the
Real
battle
fast,
droids
can I-
seem like they're distracted too, or
They're like coming out in like a formation, so they're not necessarily looking for you. You'd have, you would have, you wouldn't have disadvantage on the check, but at the same time, if you got spotted, it's a lot of battle droids. It's a line of you see about it's about 6 of them side, and then you see 2 rows deep. So it's about 12 battle droids coming out.
oh, shit.
whoops.
I'm not even mad. This is
Well,
fantastic.
but
Yeah.
you got the distraction. I mean, that's what DM's saying. You got the distraction now. They're not looking at you.
It's true.
Hold on, I got the bit with Reclaimer. He's a hologram.
So,
He doesn't. He is not real. This is a recording.
It's recording.
And I would, and if I could understand what he was saying, I would immediately try and reproduce what I just did, as if I was on loop. But at this point, I feel like maybe we need to pivot back to Tavik and the Doctor and see what they're doing,
yeah.
while I maintain this distraction. See how much
The-
time I bought them.
The one thing I will give you kind of Reclaimer, you notice they clearly don't know who you are. Like the probe droid has no clue who you are. They have no memory or recollection.
So at the very least, if things go sideways, we get out of here. We can try it again. But back to topic.
It's like an NPC in a video game. Just quick load. It's okay. Nothing's changed.
Just start giving.
We are on a
gifts.
clock here, but yeah.
Yeah. So I put Topik as one of his flaws, his overconfidence in his abilities. So he thinks he can do this. I don't know if Gus still wants to go, but he's gonna try it. He's gonna try.
I'm
Alright, you gonna do it?
I'm imagining Gus is just, again, take it how you will, but he is just riding piggyback and just like digging in, like I can't see anything. I'm just trusting this wild one-armed lizard man with my life, and I'm pressing myself into him because hey, if we get shot at, it'll probably hit him. So he is going to be pressing in. No opinion on the matter, just trusting the person that owes him a life debt.
I was gonna say we get to roll new PCs together, but yeah, use Tavik as cover. You'll be
No,
all right.
I mean,
You'll be all
let's be real.
Yeah.
No. That's Orgus what he thinks. However, it's 15 battle droids. I don't think it's going to go well. I don't think it's going to go well at all.
Tavik is.
You
I
can
don't-
take him.
As a DM, I don't think he's going to go well at all. But as a Tavik, he is going to
No.
try to jump over this, and he thinks he can hide. So
Right.
this is a regular stuff.
I can take 15 battle droids. It ain't not a thing.
Force is
battle,
just shaking his head.
Oh,
And I got a baller NPC waiting for me
So
in the Soggy Bottom Boys. Looking forward to
it's
that
true.
guy.
You guys got backup.
We do.
All right, so a 17 stealth check.
17. Yeah.
So you pop up over the wall, and surprisingly, the battle droids don't notice you. They kind of come out, they pivot right, almost like a military formation, and start walking off. So you're up over the wall, and you can see the control panel.
Perfect. So kind of just tap Gus, like point of the battle.
No
droids, just
penalties
quietly
whatsoever.
mime that we did this.
Huh? What? We're here? Oh, okay. Well, great. Fantastic, even.
Yeah, and so you'll see that it's a control panel, and there's clearly a big on-off button. You could try to hack it if you wanted to do something different to it. If you just want to turn it off, you just have to push the button.
Well, it's a good thing I came along.
But is there something specific you want to do? Do you want to hack into it, or?
Let's be real. No splicers kit. And he just recently figured out how to do that whole splicing thing. So maybe just
You do have a potent aptitude.
I do, and
Topic's
perhaps
got guidance.
perhaps I should save it for the ensuing fight that we're gonna land ourselves into, because there's no way we're doing this the easy way.
Not our group, but yeah. Tab
You're
was still
muted, by
amazed
the
if he
way.
pressed the button. He's still like, would not have thought of that.
That's how we get along so well. Well, okay, we've done it. What was the next part?
So you turn off the gate. Yeah, and so the gate flickers out. And you can kind of tell at this point on the inside, you can turn it on and off fine. From the outside is where it looks like it's got some type of passcode on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so if there's something you could theoretically splice into it if you wanted to try to hack it or do something else to it. But yeah, so the gate goes off. You kind of see the battle droids start to march away. You can kind of see inside the hangar. There's more inside there. You see, actually, the door's open, so I'll just give this to you. You'll see a large ship, like a medium-sized ship that's probably, it looks old, but it doesn't look like there's any damage. If you wanted, you could take a closer look to it. You're still kind of far away, maybe 80 or 90 feet away. But you could certainly kind of take a look at the ship if you wanted to. You could just go inside the hangar if you wanted to, or the gate's open, so you could certainly just leave. Or if you wanted to hide, you're more than welcome to try to hide.
Is there a way that we could partially break the panel, just a way to something that we could fix later, but just break it so they can't just turn it back on?
Yeah, you can kind of see where the power would come in, and you could try to, if you had something sharp, you could sever it, and someone with a little bit of wiring skill could probably rewire it up.
Well, I have a
Swap
tech
the
blade.
on and off labels.
Ah, true treachery indeed.
They'll never see past it.
Well, sure. Let's go ahead. Orgus will use his tech knife to kind of try to pop the panel open, or tech blade to try to pop the panel open and just disconnect a few things.
Yeah, and so I'll let you just take a straight technology check if you want on that. Or if you wanted, you could, yeah. So 16, yeah, so you're able to kind of easily pop it open. and temporarily disable the mechanism. So you'd know that they wouldn't be able to easily turn it on without repairing it first.
Okay.
And is there like an alcove we could hide in? And then like what Tavik wants to do is get on his headcom and let everybody know that the gate's off and like find a little spot they can just duck out into the rest of the team comes over.
Yeah, from your kind of scouting earlier, you'd kind of know there's some dead spots in the cameras that you could hide in. It's pretty exposed, so the probe droids could probably see you as they kind of do their patrol if they started resuming their patrol. But you could certainly hide in kind of the side of the building where the cameras wouldn't spot you, and currently where no droids would see you.
I know he's pretty far away from it, but does he see like from his vantage point any cameras in the hangar?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, ignore the guidance on this one. I don't have guidance.
Okay.
Forgot to unclick that.
Yeah,
14.
so a 14. So yeah, you're kind of in a rush and you're kind of far away. You don't see any cameras on the inside though, and they're kind of the ones at least on the outside are obvious. And so if it's the same cameras, you would suspect that there's none on the inside, but you don't necessarily know. Maybe there's a different setup. You wouldn't be aware of that.
Perfect. So Tavik could relay this to Gus. So, cameras out here. I don't see any cameras inside. And of course, they would have the same setup. Why would droids do this differently? So let's hide the hangar and tell the rest to come meet us there.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, it's I'm done to go wait in there and then like calm the group and let them know and they can come over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we actually hear him on the comm?
Oh yeah, our comms work. I forgot about that.
Yeah, pretty short distance they would work. So
Okay. So fours would probably look at either Reclaimer or the other, and just obviously one you need to be carried. I'm assuming the skinnier one. So I'll take him over. Does the
We're
bigger
currently
robot?
still making a distraction, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I forgot they're with Gaspar.
Oh, that's right.
I was wondering how I was going to stealthily get from where I am, distracting the enemy, to inside their hangar. And I assumed the battle droids, part of the reason they didn't notice you and headed out in battle formation, is they're heading straight to me. So fours, you go have fun. You go do the building thing. I think me and at least one of the droids. I don't know if both of them are hanging out next to me or not, but
Reclaimer's there. Revelation's far enough away so that he isn't in it, but can see the whole thing transpire. I imagine like you and me at this point are like borderline about to pop off with a musical to keep these droids distracted.
yeah, I imagine like if I heard that thing that's like we got in, we're good. You don't need to be I would probably be like, well, it appears as though your master is uninterested in the delicacies of life, and so I shall make a graceful exit.
yeah, and you start to hear the droid in binary. So I guess Reclaimer would hear start counting down and just be like, "You have 5 seconds to exit the premises, or you will be terminated." And then you kind of hear, "Prepare to lower the fence." And on the other side of the fence, you can clearly see the battle droids like getting ready to just open fire.
I mean,
We should run.
I'm moving.
5 seconds.
I mean, I'm
Run.
not running away, but I'm moving at a
Reclaimer's
a
running.
leisurely pace.
He's vrooming.
I'm not. I don't want to like. I don't want to make them be like to like. I don't want to ignite their need to chase. So I want them to see that I am doing as they ask. At a good pace.
I love that this ended the exact same way. it's like Groundhog Day. Just oh man.
I have to admit, when I made the rules of this encounter, this is not how I thought it would go.
Oh, so
would
you
just
haven't
be
you haven't
like,
learned
yes.
to predict my
Has-
insanity yet?
Has any of this gone how you predicted it would go? It's probably the
This is
better
fair.
question.
Oh, fair.
Well,
I mean-
although I do feel the need to point out, at no point was I required to make a deception roll or a persuasion roll because I was ready to go in there and share my booze and my spices. All right,
Yep.
I'm a little slighted.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, so it's about 9 o'clock. I think we've been going for about 2 hours. You guys, what do you guys think about a few minute break here?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Bounce it in my seat. So yeah.
I need time to think of more shenanigans.
All right.
I may have to cut out at like 9:30 though, so I just want to let y'all know.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, we'll wrap it up pretty soon. So let's just take maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and
Okay.
finish it up for the night.
Okay. Back in a few.
See you
All
in a
right.
bit.
Yeet.
Welcome back, everyone. The second part of Stranded. Before I turn it over to Keith, one last plug. Join us tomorrow for Savage Worlds. It should be a pretty cool system. One of the nice things too, it's let me run an era I usually don't run, so it's gonna be a modern era. Usually I run fantasy or sci-fi, so it's kind of something I usually don't get to do. So it'll be pretty fun on that side. And as always, we'll be giving away a copy of the PDF. So make sure you come check us out. But yeah, I'll turn it back over to Keith.
All right, so welcome back. So I'm going to flip over the map here so you guys can get kind of a little bit of a view of the hangar. And then we're going to cut out from Tavik and see what Forz is doing here. So let me figure out how to do this. All right, so you guys should now see the hangar in there. You see this medium ship on the left. And inside there, as you kind of go in, you see 6 droids, but they're deactivated. They're not moving. And then up here, toward the north, you see a door. So don't worry about putting yourself on the map. I just kind of wanted to give a visual representation of what this hangar looks like. And so now we'll kind of assume that Tavik and Gus are inside the hangar. They have not been spotted. The droids inside don't seem to be making any move, and they actually don't seem to be active. And so now the gate on the outside of the perimeter is open. The battle droids are currently lined up to make sure that Casper and Revelation exit the vicinity. And so, Forrest, what are you doing here? Are you making a beeline for it, or what's the plan?
So as much as Forrest would love to go inside and help these guys, my concern is with the 3 that are out now. And I think what I'd like to do is just confirm that the fence is down. Like we're not hearing it buzz anymore. We don't see any current going through it. And I'm just gonna wave them back over here and let them know that we're gonna try and jump this fence at this point.
Yep, and you don't even have to jump it. You just walk right through.
Okay. So I'll wait for these. I'll wait for these 2 to come back, and then all 4 of us will attempt to, within whatever gaps in security, we'll try to go through the fence and then go from there.
Okay. So you approach. You see that the fence is clearly down, but you do as they kind of leave and wrap back around. You'll see that the battle droids kind of are now returning to the hangar. So you see that they're kind of marching back, and that they're you assume that they're going to go back to whatever they were doing inside the hangar before they left.
Crap. Okay. Well, at this point, it is what it is. So I'll communicate that back to the group that is in the hangar, saying, "Hey, the droids are coming back. If you guys think you could pilot that ship, assuming you told us about it, great. If not, the 4 of us are coming in now."
Yep. And so you kind of also see as the droids get back, they notice that the gate is there. So at this point, if you wanted to make a beeline for it, you could probably make it inside, but your chances of not being spotted are going to be kind of slim.
Crap.
I have an idea.
Speak fast.
I can shoot them. And if I'm traveling alone, well, here's the thing. If I'm traveling alone, I can stealth at the same pace they can move. So I've got a big advantage in getting away from them. If I can shoot them and lure them away.
Attack rolls.
So
If
we
I can
can't
shoot them,
Go ahead.
if I shoot them and run away, I can maintain a distraction while you all infiltrate.
One
I'll be
dozen
all on my
attack
own,
rolls.
but I can do it.
I just want to. I got a question. We're not able to, instead of stealthing into the building, stealth around the building where that man door is at. I'm assuming that's how they got in.
Yeah. So if you wanted to go to kind of the back side of the building,
Yeah.
well, the problem is as soon as you come through that fence, you're likely to be spotted. But if you wanted to go around the outside of the fence, you could certainly do that, assuming you kind of avoid the patrols as you kind of see the probe droids start to go about their normal business.
Yeah, because the whole fence is down, correct?
No, sorry. So just there's like one area in front that is like controlled on a switch, and so that's down, and it's like a 20-foot section.
Ah, crap. Didn't think this through. Okay, well, I guess if you guys don't think we can make it, we're going to stay out, and maybe they can give us some more info.
I can get you in there. I can't get myself in there, but I can get everyone else in there. And I know it sounds crazy, but like difficult terrain doesn't slow me down. I imagine it would slow down the battle droids, so I can probably outrun them.
Can any of you guys fly the ship?
We can't pilot. Remember with Pathfinder for the Scout, you have to be traveling for an hour before you get those benefits.
Yeah. And so one thing to keep in mind when you talk about kind of like initiative, if you shoot at them, they will shoot at you. Right? Like it's not like you shoot at them and then they decide whether they want to shoot at you.
No, of course, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're right. I have to wait an hour to get the. But I've been in this area for a while. I think I would have that hour that active.
I guess you
know,
wanted to
and I don't. I would not have a disadvantage on. I wouldn't have disadvantage shooting at a distance, but I think they would.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, and then if we just need to get inside and get into that ship, I think we all run. As we run, we dodge, in case they do shoot. Stealthing is going to suck, but I can't do it anyway. So if we need to get in the hangar and then to get into that ship, I think we just go straight for the ship.
Oh, we don't know
On
what
this
else is in here, though.
distraction,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you. First of
piece.
all, I thought you guys told us about the ship. That's the only way.
We did tell you about the ship, yeah. Don't know if we want to just bail out without seeing what else is here, though.
Real fast on the distraction piece on droids firing at you. Even if they have disadvantage, let's say only half of them hit because of that. That's still 6 attacks hitting.
Well, that's assuming. I mean, yeah, but they also like it's not just disadvantage. They're shooting at their weapons might not even have an effective range of that. I can shoot from effectively outside of their threat range.
Hopefully.
In theory. I'm
Who
using a
knows,
lot
they
of
might have
theories here.
mortars, artillery.
Can you imagine? Bring out the mortar droids. Light up that sector.
Starship is
Like,
a droid pilot, just takes off.
Like I have a range of 600 feet. What's the range of everyone's farthest range weapon that they're carrying?
60 feet.
Yeah, like less.
That's
Significantly less.
like I'm even at their best range. They probably can't reliably use their weapons. Not even just disadvantage. Like their weapons just don't have the range to shoot at me. Anyway, that's my pitch. We seem to have a resounding that's a terrible idea. Don't do it. So I'll go ahead and listen to that, and we can just not get in there and just kind of wait around and take another look in because
you guys have good cover, right? That the two that are in there.
I mean, no.
you can probably either duck out or you can try and get inside the ship, but you'd have to pick an option now. And then that ship doesn't look very big. I would expect only a couple of you could get in, and once you got in, you could probably shoot your ways out if you can pilot.
Apparently, Gus can. I picked piloting because I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. But I'm glad that I did. I didn't think it would come into play at all. But here we are.
Yeah, and
Um,
so maybe the size isn't perfectly relative, but it's considered a medium-sized ship. And I'd have to look up the rules, but like maybe certainly the party could fit on there. No problem.
Well,
And were there other buildings that were in this complex, or was it just the hangar?
You would know that the building has several more rooms to it. The hangar only takes up a decent size, but there's several other rooms in here. And you would know that there's kind of a door up here.
Okay.
or the top right.
Mhm. And we're kind of like on this bottom part over here, right?
Yeah, wherever you guys ran in at.
Okay, so I thought I was going to wait for the other three, so that's what I'm going to do. Because Forrest just wouldn't leave anybody behind. So that's what I'll do. And if they end up going in, we'll just communicate it and then just say, hey, you guys are going to be on your own for a bit. Don't do nothing stupid. If we know that we can't make it in. So
Tavik, we should do something incredibly stupid.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, I don't know this.
I believe
this
in you.
probably qualifies as stupid. Is there a way for us to? Because I know there's a gate. Is there a hangar door that we can shut the hangar door before the droids get back in?
Yeah, there would be like a hangar door. You could close it if you wanted.
Do I have a fusion cutter? Sorry for not having a Jedi.
I do.
I do have a fusion cutter. You want to slam it, fuse it? I think the battle droids seem kind of stupid, so they may not figure it out for a while.
Well, I was suggesting we get in the ship.
If they got a working ship, they may have some other things that can help the captain and help our expedition here. Especially if they got working power for hundreds of years.
Yes, but they also have a ship. I mean, it would provide defense and firepower and... Good grief, Tavik, it's a ship.
We're definitely stealing the ship.
We are stealing. Okay, well, if you want to close the door on them to give us more time to steal the ship, then yes.
Because right now there's 6 of the droids outside with us, and then 6 plus the 4 probe droids outside with the rest of the group, right?
There's 6 inside with you, and then there's 12 outside.
Well,
with
there's
the
12
probe droids.
outside. Okay, I thought there was 12 total. That's a lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe it was worth just to kind of get the shipboard weaponry on, try to see if we can shoot our way out, but come back.
Yeah. Hell yeah! All right, I'm on board with that.
All right.
All right. So what's the plan then?
Should we?
So you had told us that the 4 of us that are outside could not feasibly get into that hangar without being seen. That's my understanding.
You could try. It would be difficult.
Right. And since I think only one of us can stealth, being Caspar, I think it would be horrible, especially with, I think, all 4 of us being at disadvantage. So I'm saying we hold back, these 2 hide in the ship, and then maybe we'll make our attempt at night to get in. Which is what we should have did at the beginning, just saying it. I'm right. Go on.
Well, I kind of want to hide on. I kind of want to try to get in the ship.
Yeah, so
I'm
we
sure
stay, I
the
say we steal the
droids-
ship and come back.
Yeah.
So Tavik and Gus, you can go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh no. That.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. So you notice a few things, and I'll give you a couple freebies here. You notice, one, the droids in the room with you are certainly intact. They're just deactivated. So you'd assume that they could become activated at any time. But you notice specifically about the ship, it's probably meant for transport. You don't see any visible weapons on it, but it surprisingly looks well maintained and intact. You would have to obviously get inside the ship to see, but it's obviously been cared for. And you assume it's probably flyable. But having said that, the other droids, at this point, I assume Forz would have let you know there's 12 more battle droids coming in. So you guys would have to either hide somewhere, make a run for it, or get ready for a fight.
Shit. Where's the door?
Yeah, so we hide behind the door. That's probably going to place deeper, but without having weapons, I think. By hiding behind the door and waiting for a bit.
Okay. Let's do
All
it.
right. So you guys are gonna like hide behind this door over here?
That door back there, see what's behind, and hopefully it's not like the head guy's place.
Yeah, so I'll reveal what's behind there. It's not gonna initiate a fight or anything, so and then we'll probably wrap up there for the night. So you kind of go in and you see that there's a few more doors here. So you'll see kind of up here there's a room, over here there's a room, and then over to the right there's a third room. But yep, you get inside the door, you close the door. As you get in, you hear on the other side the droids kind of return, and the hangar doors start to close. So go ahead and put your characters up here so we can remember next time where you're at. And so, yeah, then we'll pick up next week to see kind of what the group wants to do. But you don't see any visible threats on that side of the hangar.
Hey, look at us, guys. We split the party. We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Nobody's died yet. Nobody's died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
Yeah.
no fault of their own,
That's no fault for our own, yeah.
not for lack of trying.
Going to how the hell? Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
How many inspirations do we have left? Because I keep forgetting that is available. I just don't know how many we have left.
You'll have 5. Yeah.
It's bad when we're maxed out.
Yeah, I've stopped tracking. You guys make this story so good that you could be using them and it wouldn't matter. You'd be getting them back because of all the moments. So I do appreciate that, but you guys have 5. You guys never use them, so you guys have 5.
Unless we get like really desperate, we're like, which might be happening soon.
I'm just happy the droids aren't trigger happy.
Yeah, I mean, what can go wrong? There's 18 droids between you and the rest of the party.
I can fix that.
It's true.
I can fix that.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy.
I mean, if he gets up far enough away and just starts pew-pewing them,
Mm-hmm.
I really think I can shoot and outrun these guys. I can at least give you guys like a few minutes.
like my line of thinking is that they're probably just there in reserve. So if one of them breaks down or gets destroyed, pew pew, and then it's like, oh well, I guess it's my shift, and out they'll come, and then it's just a duck gallery.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, yeah, definitely will join us in 2 weeks. I don't know what the date is for that. As we pick up Stranded and see how the crew does. So next Tuesday or 2 Tuesdays, the 6th of December, come back and hang out with us and see how that goes through. And then definitely make sure to join us tomorrow for our Savage Worlds game. Then come back next Tuesday for Invasion, which we probably pick it back up there. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. I don't think any of my friends are on, so we won't be doing any raids. So hope you guys have a good rest of your night.